Hello, welcome to Team Smith UK and thanks for joining us. So we've got another video on the Nathan furniture today. If you saw our previous video, we're doing a 1970s, I don't want to say themed room as in theme park, but we're doing quite an authentic 1970s revamp on our front room. And one of the things we've done is bought some Nathan Teak furniture. So we've already put some legs on it, which is a non-destructive process, but check out the video on adding the hairpin legs if you've got some mid-century modern furniture and you wanted to give it the literal and a metaphorical lift. We're really happy actually with the job that we've done on that, but we've got some work to do on the tops now. So Rach, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, they're not in bad condition really overall, are they? But they do need potentially stripping back and refinishing. We're just going to go ahead and see how we get on with just waxing them to start off with, aren't we? Just to see what that looks like, and then we may refinish them next year. Yeah,
because at the moment, actually, you'll probably be familiar with a lot of the Nathan and G-Plan Schreiber furniture was often veneered chipboard, and although it's really solidly made, the actual top coating is only a very thin veneer, so you don't want to just go sanding straight through that because you'll just completely destroy the top surface. And as it happens, the majority of the furniture we've got is actually in really nice condition, but as Rachel said, we've got one particular piece that's got a few little scratches in the top, and another one that's got I think it's maybe like a watermark, or perhaps uneven fading from the sun where a pot plant or something, there's like a little ring that's been on there.
Yeah, it's quite white, isn't it, on that one?
So we've been having a look on YouTube as one does, and we came across Gilboy's, and Simon Gilboy, who's down in Totnes in Devon, does some beautiful videos on his furniture repair business, but he also has a line of protective polishes, French polishing equipment, supplies, all that kind of stuff. So we've got one here, and as Rachel said, the idea is today we're just going to give a nice top coat of polish to it to see if we can rejuvenate it a little bit. If needs be, next year we can always strip the whole top surface back and start from scratch, but we're thinking this year, we're hopeful we can just get away with just giving it a bit of a top polish. You may just hear Autumn, our little cat sat down by the side. She may join us at some point during the video. But yeah, so we've gone for the rose gold, I think it is, which is a slightly warmer wax. It's got just a tiny bit of coloration to it, and anyway, listen, what we'll do is crack this box open, show you what's inside, and we'll go from there. Show you what a lovely little touch though. They've actually put this beautiful little inscription with the name on the box. It's very old school, and one of the things that we loved about Gilboy's on these videos is everything comes, or seems to come, in a nice little brown paper bag, very traditional, just like the original sort of old hardware shops and what have you. I'm going to embarrass myself now by probably not being able to open the box. Now we're in. Here we go. So thank you for buying our polishing kit. I hope it performs well for you. Kind regards, Simon. There we go, very nice. So little compliments card there. We've also got some sunflower seeds. Now, Gilboy's, I'll tell you all about it on their website, I'm sure. We're not sponsored, by the way. We did actually pay for this out of our own money, but I just wanted to show you what comes in the kit. So you can actually help the bees and produce more honey, and obviously helps the garden as well. So some complimentary little sunflower seeds in there, which we will be planting. I think we should just have time this year to get them in still. And this is all the help and advice. Gorgeous little book telling you all about the different polishes and yeah, the different items that you can get and what have you. So very nice. Okay, well we'll have a little read through that at some other time a bit later. But here is the main thing that we actually bought. Now we've got here the rose gold. As I say, we've got I think this is a Le Parfait, genuine little clip top jar here, and this is the beautiful rose gold blend. I'm just going to have a little sniff actually, just off camera. Oh, that is heaven. That's lovely. Medicine for the wood, that is. That's gorgeous. So anyways, we've got the rose gold, which, as I say, is a beautiful blend of waxes, and it's got a tiny little bit of a colour in there just to add an extra bit of warmth, because the old mid-century modern furniture had that, generally was teak or something like that, had a golden kind of glow to it. So we're going to restore that with a bit of luck. Right, so Autumn's helping us out. You can probably hear her in the background. Now somewhere in here, I think, underneath should be there we go. Let's just move that one out of the way. Thank you very much. We've got the little kit in here now. So this comes with 1.2 meters of it's a 40 grade ultra fine wire wool, and we use this for the application of the wax. And also there should be some open weave. There it is, open weave cotton cloth there as well. So again, a nice open weave so that it doesn't generate too much friction or heat and remelt the wax as you're trying to gently buff it up. Obviously if you use old t-shirts and things like that, they've got quite a tight weave on them, so it can get very hot very quickly if you're buffing, and that can sort of melt the wax and defeat the object. You're just trying to generally just gently buff away some of the wax off the top surface once it's dried a bit. So anyway, there we go. So we've got the wax, we've got the wire wool, and we've got the cloth to buff it up. So all we need to do now is get the pieces away from the wall and get them in a position where we can start to get the wax on. And just one more thing that I forgot to mention, we've got this gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous little hand-tied wax block here. And one of the reasons we went for the actual whole kit, to be honest, because we're thinking this might just help us a bit with our scratches. So yeah, little hand-tied package here. There you go. It's like a bar of soap in a posh hotel. There we go. Lovely, look at that. Little gilded bee as well. Let's bring that up into the camera so you can see it. Absolutely lovely. So we'll be able to use that hopefully to treat some of the scratches before we actually put the wax on. Okay, we might be asking a little bit too much of this polish, and it probably needs refinishing, to be honest, but as I say, this is the worst one, so we're going to just see how we get on. And I have been round already and given everything a wipe with a microfiber cloth. Just to make sure there's no dust. That's a nice clean cloth now. And yeah, because we don't want to use anything too wet. I didn't want to use any sort of wet wipes or anything like that, because we don't want to risk sort of getting moisture in there and raising the grain and making it any worse than it already is. So Rachel's got the, if we just bring the thing into view there, the page, we're going to have a little read through this. It's not chocolate apparently, that'd be used for a little wax. So what do we need then?
Okay, so we need a coloured felt tip pen to tone down the whiteness of the scratch.
Okay, so I've got some here. Now, worst case scenario, well, actually, I had a orange felt tip pen thing here. I knew I had somewhere a potential furniture pen. I don't know where the others went. They used to live in the drawer in the kitchen. You know, everybody's got a drawer in the kitchen that's full of absolutely everything apart from what you need at the time.
Messy drawer.
Yeah, found one, but I did have a Sharpie that's kind of, might be our best bet, I'm not sure yet, but it might be better than nothing, just to take some of the edge out of these white scratches. Okay, what else?
Low tack tape.
Okay, so again, just a little bit of, I've got some masking tape here, but I won't apply it too much because I don't want to risk lifting any of the existing lacquer. What else have we got?
And we need a naked flame.
Well, I don't know if we're allowed naked on YouTube, but we've got a we've got that.
A lighter.
Okay, yeah.
And then an old credit card.
Okay, it's not a credit card, but it's my membership card for my Institute of Advanced Motorists, so that will do for that. And of course the wax.
And yes, of course, the cube. The cube.
Alrighty, so I think we're ready to go. That's first step, I think, then, is to try and colour in some of these scratches.
Yes.
Of course, normally the whole point of doing this is to do one scratch at a time, so it's great if you've just got one scratch as we've got quite a large area, we're just going to try and mix this in as best as we can. Not exactly what the wax was designed for, but we're going to give it a go just to see. And just gently warming the wax with a naked flame and working that into the surface. Oops, there we go. And we're just going to keep doing that for a little minute and see if it makes any improvement. And I don't think I'm getting it warm enough, so I'm just going to let it drip. There we go. That's better. I think you're supposed to let it drip and run into the scratch rather than trying to rub it in with a soft wax, if that makes sense. So that already looks a bit better. Okay, that's the wax in the worst parts. To be honest, it's not the best job, and it's not really designed for large areas of scuffing like this. By rights, this should be sanded back and or at least gently scraped back and stripped and redone. But we're going to see how we get on anyway. So the next stage is to just remove this tape. Just gently does it. There we go. And just see if we can scrape back this wax. It's definitely leaving a trace of wax actually in the scratches, which has to be a good thing because it shows that it was deep enough to take the wax. So there's our excess coming off of there.
It does look better.
Yeah, I was going to say it does actually look slightly better. There we go. It does look marginally better, I have to say. And if I just get down in the light, you can see how it's filled those scratches. There we go. Autumn's definitely pleased with it. There we go. Yeah, no, actually that looks all right. Better than it was. So let's move on with some polish.
Okay, so you get quite a lot of wire wool with this, but you just need to take a little bit off and then create like a pad with it. And then we've got to, as Simon says, charge it. So just get in there. It's quite hard, so you've got to, I guess this is where my nails help.
Right, not too much, but then just want to get it warm. Yeah, it's probably a bit much. But
Let's take a little bit off.
there we go.
Okay, let's give it a go. And then, no idea what we're doing, but we're going to give it a go. So we go with the grain.
With the grain, that's it. Push it into the grain gently to start with. Don't overwork it. Just start at the edge and just.
Let's take it back a little bit if we
There you go.
get too much on there.
Yeah. So the trick with this is to work it into the wood, but not to scour it to death, but just to literally work the polish into all of the dry old polish. It smells delightful, I've got to
It
say.
really does, it's lovely. Good.
So just carry on doing that, put some more on if you need to. And then keep moving the pad. Like you have to sort of turn the pad to keep it all fresh, keep it moving. Shall I show you?
Yeah.
So the idea is to just keep opening it up, exposing some fresh, and then again. There we go, not too much on there, just to work it in, like so. Right.
You can see the difference
You
already,
can already
you?
or see the difference and smell the difference.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, I've been annoying enough, you carry on, I'll be quiet now. Come back on.
Well, it looks loads better already, doesn't it?
It does look a
Probably
lot.
will. I mean, like we said, this is the worst.
Yeah.
This is the worst one.
And the beauty with this is once you've actually applied a coat, after 3 or 4 days you can go and apply a second coat over the top. You can actually build up as many layers of the wax as you want.
Yeah.
And you know, there is a small couple of chips in here. And I think also there's a brand new legs that we fitted yesterday, and she's trying to chew our brand new legs. So that's why Daddy said no pets, Mummy said we want a cat. Mummy's the boss.
You love her just as much as I do. Cat dad.
Alright, so I think once it's worked in, which I think that's probably enough for that one, we'll let this dry for 20 to 30 minutes and we'll just crack on and do the same with the other tables, and then we'll come back and give this a gentle buff.
Okay, so don't forget to change your wire wool regularly so that you've always got a fresh surface for applying your wax.
Okay, that's the first coat of wax applied, and we haven't buffed it yet. We're going to leave it sort of 20 to 30 minutes, but you can already see the reflection of that just there. And if you just don't mind the whiplash while I whip the camera around here, we've got the other units as well. And the antique gold, I've got to say, it does have, as I said earlier on, that lovely colour, slight glow to it, so it does enhance the teak colour. And it's already softened out the light mark on that one. And if I just whip up the tripod over here, bear with me one moment please. There we go. You can see the corner one here as well. It's come up really well. Bearing in mind that's only the first coat and it hasn't even been buffed yet. So the plan is to buff these out shortly and then apply another coat in a few days' time. But in the meantime, Autumn's just going to stand guard and make sure that nobody gets on top of them or scratches or marks them in the meantime. Isn't that right, Bear Bears? Good girl.
Okay guys, so it's been about 25 minutes since we applied the wax, so now we're going to cut a piece of this white cotton cloth and start buffing these units. We don't need loads, so we'll just start off, if I can even cut it with these scissors, which I cannot. Okay, so yeah, so we needed 3 hands for that.
3 seconds later.
We needed to pull it taut and then cut it, and I'm absolutely covered in it. Okay, let's give this a go. Looks a bit like bandaged, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This one first?
This
is the one we did first. So,
yeah, so we can see there's a kind of a little sheen where the wax is, so we're just going to buff it up now.
Okay. This is what you did on the video, isn't it?
Back and forth a bit. That's it. Not too much pressure, but and you just have to keep turning the cloth just to stop the build up of the wax, and obviously to stop it from overheating and what have you as well. So
you can definitely see
that's starting
the shine on it. Anyway.
Nice.
Wax really went in that scratch and made it really deep colour, didn't it?
Yeah.
But as we said with this one, we probably will end up stripping this one back properly.
But I've got to say, have you worked over that wax bit yet anyway? Just sit there. I've got to say,
yeah, it's so much better.
I mean, that was the really rough area. And
yeah, and it's a hell of a lot better. Well, the whole thing is, nice. Yeah, you can really tell.
And like we said, we're going to put a second coat on here as well. Yeah. Anyway, but bearing in mind that this one, I'm just trying to walk around without tripping over the tripod legs as I'm carrying the camera. Well, this was the one that was really dry and ropey looking, and it already
and sun bleached.
Yeah.
It was really sun bleached in it, and it is still. You can still see the colour change and the scratches, but it's so much better. So much better.
Nice. Good. Lovely. And also on that, just flipping around here real quick, that white mark is already significantly reduced because of the colouring in the rose gold wax. So again, by the time we've done a second coat on that, I think it will look an awful lot better. Yeah. Good stuff. All right, so far so good.
Okay, so we've done 2 units so far, and that's, yeah, the cloths. It's so been absorbed by the furniture. There's hardly anything coming off on these cloths. So just carry on with this one.
So we've buffed them up, and you can see that they've got that lovely reflective. It's a satin sheen. This isn't a high gloss polish, it's more of a satin sheen, but you can see that they really look lovely now. The colour's definitely toned down nicely, and they're looking good. So I think we'll put these back to one side, wait for a few days, and we'll give them a second coat. You only generally need one if you're doing maintenance on these things, you know, like once a year, once every 6 months, or even once every couple of years, depending on how heavy use they get. But because these were so dry and hadn't been done in a long time, we're going to actually put a second coat on, just let it build up a little bit. But you do now have to leave it 3 or 4 days before you do that, so we'll see you then. And just while we are thinking about it, we've got a genuine Danish mirror as well here, and you can see how dry the framework is around here as well. So we are going to just put a couple of coats of the wax polish on this as well over the course of the next few days. So first thing we're just going to do is mask this up so it doesn't get on the glass. And yeah, same as we did with the furniture, we're just going to do the mirror as well, give it a new lease of life. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to mask the edges of the mirror here so that we don't get any of the wax on the actual glass. Dylan's doing this because I'm pretty sure I'd mess this up. Yeah, we haven't got to be too exact because obviously we can clean the glass, but it's quite sticky wax and you don't want to get... Yeah, I literally can't get it off my nails or my hands. We don't want to get more on there than we need. No. So... and go all the way around the perimeter. That's it. I think I would have torn it up into about 1 million pieces to do that. You're doing it all in one. Well, I'm going to be too exact. It's not a Ferrari wing we're repainting, it's only a bit of wax on the mirror, so I think we can... Yeah, this was another eBay find. Oops! Another eBay find that we got. So it was a bit of a bargain. Yeah, one of those where it's cheap, but if you're happy to go and drive and get it. Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't too far, so that's exactly what we did. There we go. There we go. Nice. Okay, so we're ready to get this wax on. So Dylan's there just opening up the weave of the wire wool and then charging it, and then with the grain, getting on there with the grain like we said. Gosh, that colour changes. Yeah, look at that. You see that? Yeah, can really see the difference already. Just working that in. And this is solid teak as well, so we're not worrying about the veneer or anything like that. No, and this is going to go on above our fireplace, so it's going to be sort of a centrepiece here. So we want it to look good. Also, we'll be doing a video on restoring the cast iron, polishing the cast iron for the fireplace. Absolutely. So do hit the bell for that. Yeah. Gosh, it's soaking it up, isn't it? That really is. Can you see that from here? Yeah. And again, we'll probably do 2 or 3 coats on this because it's definitely more faded in some areas than others. So. Gosh, that's soaking that in beautifully. Look at that. Such a beautiful, because the waxes themselves, they do 3 colours. Well, they do three versions of it. They do a clear, and then there's an antique gold, and then the rose gold. So this is the darker of the 3. Obviously the clear. It is, isn't it? Is it the darkest or is it the middle one? No, this is the darkest. The antique gold is the middle. Right, okay. The clear obviously is clear, so obviously if your furniture's in good condition, just needing a wax, and the clear is ideal. But we wanted a little bit of pigment just to bring some of this stuff back, because there are areas of fade in the furniture, so that's why we went for the darker out of the 3. Gosh. It looks brand new already. Yeah, we're going to need, you can see it's really soaking in. Yeah. So this will need 2, maybe 3 coats. Yeah, I'd say so. But let it take what it wants. Just let the wood take what it wants. Yeah, beautiful. Soaking in. And the smell of those natural pine turpentine as well. Smells like a proper old school hardware shop.
Yeah, it's lovely. We're hoping to take a visit down there, aren't we? Because it's not too far for us.
No.
Down to Totnes to see their shop, because it looks great. Really, really, definitely go and check out their YouTube channel.
Right,
Perfect.
so we just leave that to soak in. You probably can't hear me because the mic's the wrong way.
We're going to leave that for about 20-25 minutes to soak in, and then we'll buff it all off.
Lovely, beautiful. So again, another 25 minutes or so later, Rachel's just going to buff the excess wax off now. Like I say, oh wow, look at that sheen straight away. Now, it's only had the first coat, as we keep saying, and originally, there we go, destroyed it already. Originally, the plan is to put 2 coats on, but before we wouldn't have even put it on the wall in the condition it was in. It was far too faded and patchy, so it's already nice enough to go on the wall, to be honest. But we will give it another coat just to give it an extra luster and a bit more colour. But yeah, all good stuff. Yeah, happy?
Looks lovely.
Wow. Okay guys, so what we'll do now then is wait 3 to 4 days as per the recommendations for all of the wax to harden, and we're going to do everything again, a second coat. We won't bore you with that, but yeah, we'll see you on the other side of a fade with a final reveal and our thoughts. Okay, so it's a few days later now and we've given everything a second coat, so what do you think?
Yeah, really good. Really impressed. It's covered up a multitude of sins. Like we've said, it's not like refinishing it and revarnishing it, but it's really helped bring the furniture back to life.
Yeah, it's not a miracle cure, as Rachel said, really. You know, if you want to get rid of deep scratches and proper discoloration patches, then obviously you would actually refinish the whole thing. That's not what this is for. This wax is really designed as a protective layer, a maintenance layer, if you like. But it has actually had a little bit of a healing property insofar as, for example, the mirror was very dry, very patchy, and the coloration and the wax has really helped bring that back to life for sure. Also, we've got a small unit, haven't we? We did.
Yeah, and that adds some really deep scratches and a lot of sun bleaching, so half of it's quite a darker shade to the rest, isn't it? And it's just helped to even it out. And actually, what I would say is that it's done exactly what they said it would do.
Yes.
They've not oversold it. It's a really fantastic product.
Yeah, because for the pieces that did have the best condition tops, they've really just come alive. It's given it that extra depth, extra warmth, extra glow, and extra layer of protection. Now on the camera you can still see that white watermark on one of the corner pieces, and it looks quite pronounced. The camera has a habit of picking out every single colour and shade, but in real life actually it really is, well, it's barely noticeable.
It's toned it right down.
It has.
It really has.
And we're going to have something over that anyway. As it happens, we've got an old 8-track player that's probably going to live over where that mark is. So I think basically, in summary, I guess it's has it enabled us to put it back a year? Definitely, because we are thinking about refinishing it all at some point, but not this year. This has definitely got us through this year. It'll look nice, I think, to keep us going while we get on with the rest of the room and indeed the rest of the house. Yeah. Also, we've got some other furniture, haven't we, that we think we'll use it on? Yeah,
absolutely. And we just to note that we have only done the tops of the units. We haven't done the fronts or the doors because they're not actually that bad at all. Apart from one which probably is just really needing a good clean. I don't think it's actually, but otherwise, it's all in really good condition. So we've done the tops. We've got plenty of it left.
Yes.
To do other pieces.
I think in summary, I guess you'd say, would we recommend it? And as I say, this isn't sponsored at all. We're literally going through the house and sharing our experiences and sort of honest opinions with you guys. So, what do you think? Would you buy it again?
Yeah, I'd definitely buy it again. I think we picked the right colour as well. We picked the antique gold.
Yes.
No, the rose gold.
Rose gold, sorry. The darkest
which was
of
the
the
darkest of the three. Which is what we wanted, because we knew that we needed that sort of coloration to help to blend the furniture in.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really pleased. Would definitely recommend them. And we just love the traditional nature of how they do their business, how they package things, how they how they come across, it's very, very traditional. So
that's the thing. There are so many sort of dying arts now to be able to find someone that has highest quality materials and has, you know, the environmental factor with regard to the supporting the bees and even the free sunflower seeds and things like that. It's just a nice touch. It's very traditional. It's not cheap. I think we paid £40 for this pot of wax and the sundries, but you could have got it cheaper on eBay. I think there was an offer on at the time, but for various reasons we're not big fans of eBay, and we wanted as much money to go directly to them as possible.
yeah, I think it was something like it was 5% off. We bought 2 or something.
Yeah,
we wanted all the money to go to them, so we bought it direct through their website,
Yeah.
and it was here within a couple of days.
Yeah.
It was really quick.
And they wrote your name on the box, which was a
And
nice
they,
touch.
yes, they did. Yeah.
So
it was awesome.
I know we're harping on a bit now, so we're just sort of sitting here randomly going on. But as I say, we're not sponsored. We didn't receive that free or anything like that. This is purely what we're going to be doing is going through, talking about the paints we're using, the varnishes we're using, all sorts of stuff as we go. So it'll be, you know, I'll even be reviewing the tools and the sander that we use for the floor and things like that. So do check out our other videos. Please do subscribe and hit the bell for notifications of new videos that are coming up soon. And thanks for your support. We're a brand new channel. We're just going to have some fun, say it like it is, and hopefully you'll appreciate that and join us on our experiences as we go. So thanks very much indeed for watching. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. So just remember to change your wire wool really regularly, so that you've got a nice, I can't remember what you said. Don't forget to change your wire wool regularly so that you've got, don't laugh. I've got a real itch now. As soon as you said it, now I'm like, my nose is itchy.